I didn't check the audio. How do we sound? Okay, that looks good.
Sophie and Emily here, welcoming you
To Upper Valley Access,
your monthly video magazine.
Our monthly video magazine, Upper Valley Access, is a compilation of events, of stories, of just things going on in the community that we cover and we put in one place.
For people who, work long hours and can't get to everything, they can sort of see what's been going on during the month and sort of connect with other like-minded artists and people that they might be interested in.
If you could use one word to describe Upper Valley Access Video Magazine, what would it be?
Just one word?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to use the word collaboration. I feel like the Upper Valley Access Video Magazine is just a nice collaboration of everybody getting together and putting something together.
Emily, what were some of your production highlights?
This month we learned about Open Door Studio in downtown White River Junction and about the services that Good Neighbor Health Clinic provides Upper Valley community members.
This was also an extremely successful month for the Heartland homeschoolers.
3 of our Heartland homeschoolers actually won a national competition. So C-SPAN came here to celebrate their award.
What's the hardest part? Because you're a host of Upper Valley Access. What's challenging about that?
There are so many challenging things. I am not somebody who's good at being on TV, who knows exactly what to say and can say it smoothly. It takes a lot of takes for me to say what I need to say correctly.
And you went on an interesting adventure.
I did. I got to go foraging for fiddleheads, and it was amazing. It was actually a really tranquil experience, at the same time a little bit adrenaline-inducing.
There's more than 2. Now the other thing, see, I'm picking them clean, but when we go to the fiddlehead patch, it's nice to leave a couple on each little mound so they come back next year. You don't want to wipe yourself out. You want to be a sustainable gatherer. I really would like to get rid of them in here, and to that end, they're very difficult to get rid of. It's not that I'd call them an invasive, but they have a root that spreads under the ground, and they just pop up wherever. So unless you get the entire thing,
You'll never know
you'll
where they're
have
going
them.
to pop up.
Yeah, they're there. Well, shall we go to the real patch?
That sounds
See,
good.
these are too high for any good, but they look cute. Hey, Steve and Wendy, the fiddlehead pickers are on their way down. It's around 6 on Wednesday night. There'll be a black car parked on your road. Bye. As they are now, they're not evident, but once you see how high they get, you just look down and go, oh, there they are. You can tell them from a mile away because they get as much as 3 feet high.
A competitive element to picking?
Not in my experience, other than you don't want to tell people where your picking spot is. Not that I don't want to share, but I don't. This entire area here was underwater with Irene, probably about 4 feet deep, the water. And I think that certainly didn't hurt the fiddleheads. In fact, it probably gave them some nutrition, just like that's how they used to fertilize fields in the spring floods. There's some right next to your foot.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting the hang of it. Yeah, those are good. All of them. Very good. There's more over there. If you stand and look, you find them just about everywhere. Aren't they pretty? They're gorgeous.
How about over here? Look at these.
Yeah.
How long have you been picking fiddleheads?
Oh, I feel like the old lady. I don't know, maybe 20 years or more.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those things, if you're not used to foraging in the forest, you're kind of thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to eat that, but They're good. Debris washed over it and kind of hurt it the last couple years after the flood. There's some more there.
I'm gonna have more than I can eat.
Well,
Might have to sell it.
yeah, out in the corner. Well, you know, they keep, like I said, once you
right.
clean them
Couple
for
weeks.
a couple weeks, and you can
How much
freeze
do you
them.
cook in that? Oh, you can freeze them.
Well, you have to blanch them.
Okay.
Just like any other vegetable, you have to blanch it in either boiling water or and then plunge it in ice water, dry them real well, and stick them in. I'm gonna pick just a few more because I have orders for some fiddleheads from my family. You can feel it when you're stepping on them. They're like a little lump,
Right.
and you're smushing as you go.
Great activity to do after work when you get home. It's calming. You know, you get outside. It's very relaxing. You hear the brook.
This is a very nice place. Now there's some more. Look at those. They're beautiful. All the girls are dancing. The shaking method.
It's a little flip of the wrist.
They really have a good flavor. A cross between spinach and asparagus, I would say. That's the asparagus fern. Well, it's like free food and a delicacy at that. And you'll see what fiddleheads do when they're in water, and you'll find this when you cook them. They have a reddish, and swish them around, put them in the other bucket. They have a reddish tint to the water, so don't be alarmed when you cook them.
okay.
It's almost like a
That's part of the
brownish
toxin,
red.
you
Well,
Or no?
It's just part of the juice from them. It's not toxic. It's just what they do. No, it's their juice. It's brown
think? Oh.
after you cook them. Now, because we're so dry, I'm going to throw this on my garden. Good.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Claudia.
That was
a
awesome.
lot of
Thank you
fun.
so much. Would you do me a favor and just say your name and what you do?
Claudia Saycook. I'm a certified registered nurse anesthetist at Hitchcock. I've been there for 35 years. And I work part-time. That's why I can pick fiddleheads.
So as an independent producer or a volunteer producer, I can come to the studio and use the studio for free. What that means is I can book it 2 weeks in advance or sometimes 1 month in advance, and I can even book a staff to help me with it. And I'll be able to use the studio here, I'll be able to use the lighting, you name it, the whole setup, and it's not going to cost me anything. It's going to be free. So for those of you who doesn't know that you can come to Studio 8 here at White River Junction and produce a show for free, it's available to you. I mean, did you know when you first came here that you'd be able to do this? Right? Nobody knows.
Everybody loves the Rocket Man. Said everybody loves the man. Everybody watches the Rocket Man when he floats into outer space.
Mike Test, hi, welcome to Studio 8 here at White River Junction, Vermont. My name is Frank Jones. I'm going to show you how to set up a shoot. To keep it simple, when you come into the studio, everything's pretty much set up. You have your 3 cameras, you have your lighting, you have your mic that we plug into the host and the guest. And if you want a wireless one, I'm wearing one right now. This is a lavalier Sony. Most people don't know when you come into the studio that you can actually create your own scene. you don't have to follow the format they have. You can actually set it up the way you want it. Today I'm going to show you how to set up the studio the way I want it. So here we go. Right now I'm doing a monthly show about the Upper Valley. It's produced by a host named Halford E. Jones from Claremont, New Hampshire. And what he does is he brings in local guests and he talks about the Upper Valley. So the last show we did, it's called The Eye on the Twin State Valley. Recently, Hillary Clinton was in Claremont, New Hampshire, and she was able to visit the town. And most of the people from Claremont did not know that she was in town. So that was a good segue to do the interview with some of the local politicians that we had. So the show right now I'm working on is called The Eye of the Twin State Valley. And Studio 8 is allowing me to produce those shows here, and allowing me to use all the studio equipment I need, and even including the editing, so I can go ahead and have it broadcast. And if you ever need help for anything you do in studio production, you can always count on the staff here. They're very helpful.
Hi, my name is Dan Falcone, and I'm the director of the North Country Chordsmen, and I've been directing them for about 8-9 years, and I've been singing barbershop for about 13 years, and just saw them at a talent show over in Woodstock and thought that sounded fun. It is nice to sing with a group of guys that was similar to my college experience, and barbershop is not one small genre of music. It's expanded to many different types of music. We're singing What a Day for a Daydream by the Lovin' Spoonful right now, Yesterday by the Beatles, and then we do some traditional barbershop songs. But there really is a wide range of material that's barbershop, and it's good to do close harmony. It's great ear training. Any kind of singer can do it, even guys who haven't sung before. We can help you to become a better singer. Let's try to do that barbershop spread at the end. If you are a veteran, you know what we're talking about. Barbershop is a tradition that comes around turn of the century time. Then it was reinvigorated in the 1930s, and it was made popular again by the musical Music Man with the Buffalo Bills. And people doing barbershopping now all over the world.
We're going to sing a tag for you. It's called When It's Sleepy Time Down South. When it's sleepy time down south.
A tag is a very short part of the end of a song, and so we don't have to memorize all the words. This is something that's really easy to teach to somebody who just came and say, hey, you're going to sing this note and these words, and then we'll harmonize around you. And so you could be singing barbershop harmony in 5 minutes. A typical rehearsal, we'll start with some warm-ups, which are good for all levels of singing. We might talk about some craft, which would be either a little theory or a little bit of vocal production. And we'll do some old songs, review some old songs. We'll learn some new songs. And every week we're learning new songs, perfecting songs.
Yeah, I'm Elmer Brown. I'm a charter member of this organization. I've been with us for 38 years now, and it's the most fun thing I've ever done in my life. Read the good book from Friday till Monday. A lot of people don't know about barbershop, and even today they don't. Many of them don't know about barbershop. In fact, I've got 3 hot candidates right now. I've got 18 members that I've brought into the society over the years, and every single day I pick on somebody, try to get them involved.
My father started singing barbershop, and then he called me up one night. He said, "How'd you like to sing barbershop?" I said, "I can't do that. I'm too busy." And I went one night with him, and I was hooked. And I've been singing ever since. So I'm in my 39th year at this point.
I love to sing. Can you remind your face that you love to sing? I love to sing. There you go. Very nice. Check it out, check it out. We encourage anyone who's interested in singing, whether you just want to watch rehearsal, try it out a little bit, just pop down here to the Church of Christ in Hanover, New Hampshire, or behind Baker Library. And any Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, we'll be here.
You can be a bunch of nerves at the end of a hard day, and you come and sing barbershop, and at the end of the night you're relaxed. Well, I'm 88 years old, and if I can do it, anybody can.
Brother Johnny and Sister Becky Sue, and their happy hearts keep laughing like a cloud. I love those dear hearts and gentle people who live and love in my hometown, who live and love in my hometown, my hometown.
How about that bass one at the end? Nice.
My name's Rebecca White. I'm from Wilder, Vermont, and I am the recently elected Hartford Select Board member. So the Hartford Select Board, I've always been very interested in local government, and that was something that really drove me to run for the Hartford Select Board. But the biggest motivating factor was just the fact that I don't see any young people or anyone even marginally close to my age in politics in Vermont. I saw that even though we're working on minority rights and we're working on more people being involved in politics and having representation, there was this whole group of people who I'm a part of, which is people age 25 or under, that just aren't being present in those conversations. And I thought, hey, why not? The select board seems like the right first step. There's a lot of open vacancies on different boards throughout the town, and I thought, you know what, just go be appointed to one of those. That'll be really easy, your first step when you come back home. Because I'm currently a UVM, so I wanted something that would transition me back to living in Hartford from Burlington. And then I saw that there was the election, and then I saw that the incumbent wasn't running, which is Ken Parker, who I replaced his seat for the 2-year position. And I thought, you know, I'm really interested in this, and actually maybe I should just go for it. Ken Parker had a quote from the Valley News, which said, you know, the next person should be someone who's global thinking and forward thinking. And I just thought, wow, that's a sign. I should do this. There we go. I'm in. I'm doing it. So that's when I really made the decision to just kind of go and wholeheartedly run. I realized that I was running against 2 people who were much older than me, who are also more established in the community. Just even for the fact that I was born and have always lived in Wilder, I hadn't necessarily been around for the last 6 years, or I really haven't been a big player. You know, when you're in high school, you don't really get the opportunity to hobnob with like local decision makers. They don't really have much of a concern about your opinion. So I realized at that point that I was going to need to have a different perspective on Hartford as a town. So my campaign strategy was really to just go out and say, okay, the 2 candidates who are running against me, which was Mike Morris and Dennis Brown, I just went into it and said, hey, you know, I'm not either of those 2 people. I'm very different. I'm the choice that's separate from those 2. So if you want something that's gonna change Hartford, or at least have the ability to change Hartford, that's the person you want to vote for. So I have a lot of experience with actually knocking on doors and saying, hey, my name's Rebecca, how about you consider this? It was a completely different experience to knock on someone's door and go and say, hey, support the environment, or clean heat, or solar power. It was, hey, I'm awesome, why don't you vote for me? I'm great. I set up a Facebook page, which I actually think I was the only person running who set up a Facebook page, which was actually really successful. I got a local person, Noah Detzer, if he's watching. He filmed my campaign video, which was really fun.
Hi, my name is Rebecca White, and I'm running for Hartford Town Select Board. I grew up right here in Hartford, so I know all the issues that are important to Hartford voters.
We went around to all the different villages and got like shots of me being like, yay, Hartford. So that was good.
And my goal is to get even more people involved. So vote for me, Rebecca White, for Hartford Town Select Board.
So I tried to do it a little differently than what the classic just put out signs in your yard way that campaigning tends to go. So something a little different, but looking back now, I had thought it was not going to be, I actually didn't think I was going to win after that day because he just had so much overwhelming support from the community. And if you saw his signs, he had a lot of signs. I felt like he beat me in the sign department. So that was mentally and physically difficult. Well, life as a select board member isn't that different than being a regular citizen. The biggest difference is that every other Tuesday I have the meetings, and then I'm far more, I read the news far more carefully. That's the first biggest thing. And I also just I read the listserv as well. There's a Hartford listserv, you should all be on it. But the biggest changes that I want to make in Hartford are probably three big things. And the first one is something that I campaigned on. In fact, all three I campaigned on, unsurprisingly. The first one is just synchronicity between the school board and the town board. And the way I've really tried to work on that is I'm already the school board liaison to the select board, which means that I attend the meetings for the school board, and really I'm the the communicator between the two boards. And then the second really big thing I wanted to do was just get more awareness to young people being involved in the process, as well as just more people who may not already be involved. You know, it's not just age 25 and under, it's people who might not be long-term residents of Hartford or might be new to the community, that might not have that family background of, oh yeah, we know who the select board members are, we know who the town manager is. It's people who don't have that interaction as consistently as a lot of more long-term members of the community do. So getting them more involved, which has been really challenging. The biggest thing that I'd like to do, I've got 2 years, is to just get as much public awareness to attending the select board meetings, knowing that you can always come to me. The biggest way that I've done that so far is I put my phone number out there, and I said, hey, give me a call if you want to talk about anything. So far, I have gotten very few calls, but that's still an open door if anyone wants to talk about something. And then the last really big thing that I wanted to do is I'm very concerned about climate change and the environment and the impact that it'll have on future generations. And that's something that we as a community, I think, need to take as a priority moving forward. So I'm already the liaison to the Energy Commission, which was just I just took over that position as well. So making sure that Hartford is looking, when we're building infrastructure or when we're considering projects, or even when we're looking at fixing old problems, are we doing it in a sustainable way that really reflects the values of our community? Yeah. Oh, and the budget. Let's not make that expensive. I think that's just an automatic. I'd like to not have a huge increase in taxes.
Are these stories important? Like, how does it make the viewers feel when they watch it? Is it worth the time?
Right. I love these so what questions. Actually, I don't, but I sort of do. Like, I think it's important. Emily did a production about sugaring, and it was so great. It was just relevant and, something so enjoyable and particular to this part of, the world, I suppose, maple sugaring. And it just reminded me how much I enjoy where we live, and that I don't always get a glimpse of what happens, in that realm. And it's nice to take that peek in and see what's happening. It was great. I felt pretty honored to have that shared with me, that glimpse.
Well, it was in my childhood
These guys make this maple syrup and right in there. This there is fire. Take this one. Here. I take this one. Here's food. It's my dinner, buddy.
It's the red line here. Ready to go off. Red line right there. Right on the money.
Over rock, God knows and read a little.
The Upper Valley Access Video Magazine is a reflection of the community's events, the people involved, and what is actually going on in the Upper Valley that makes it important that people want to go see it and be involved in public access television.
The fundamental value of trying to have a successful community is the ability to communicate. And that's so we need to be able to transfer knowledge and information from the public setting, from those in the public policy making area and those who have to administer per that direction, to the citizens who are impacted by paying the taxes and receiving the services.
Make sure to come visit us at the Tip Top Media Building, 85 North Main Street, White River Junction, and we hope to see you. Bye! Okay, that felt a little bit better. We just had to get back to it.
Yeah, we totally did.